Hi everyone. This InDesign tutorial is called Get Consistent with Paragraph Styles. This is computer tutoring. So as you can see on the screen now, I've got a document here. It's just a standard sort of normal InDesign document. I've used the fill with placeholder text. If you're not sure how I did that one, then I can go to type and go down to fill with placeholder text. You can see just here. So that's a great way of just filling up text boxes with just text that's just lots of Latin. I'm not really sure what that means there, but there we go. So the idea of this one is we're going to be using paragraph styles. So the first thing we need to do when we're talking about it is we start with the bottom up, okay? So with paragraph styles, these are what your text is, your bog standard text, your copy text, your standard text. That's what we're going to start off with. So I've got this document here. It's called Computer Tutoring Styles Tutorial. You can download this from the website that I'll give you in the link below. So please click on that, download if you want to follow along. If you want to, you can create your own text if you want to just follow along. If you look here as well, you can see I've got a main heading on this page and then subheading level 1 and level 2. If I go to other pages here, if I go to the first page, there we go. I've got these pages there. If I just double click on this here, I can see the whole page. Great. So the idea is I'm just going to create these styles, these paragraph styles, so I can get consistency within my InDesign document. So let's start this InDesign tutorial. What we'll do is we are going to need a couple of windows, well, one window in particular. We're going to go to window at the top. Let's just zoom in so you can see here. There we go. So we're going to go up to and then click on window. We're going to go down to and go over styles, and we're going to need paragraph styles. So make sure we click on paragraph styles here. That's good. And then that will just click, that's it, that will make this one here appear. We'll also need the paragraph one, that will be handy. Now if you're using the 2020 version of Adobe InDesign, you can go to properties here, and we've got lots of options here for properties and character here. If I scroll down, and we've got paragraph here. So there's other options there, but if you're using an older version, let me just show you where you would go. So you go up to the top here, we'd go to window. We would then go to type and table, and there's a couple of we're interested in character, and we're interested in paragraph. So you can see that I've got these two. The character one is here and the paragraph one is here. Looks pretty straightforward there, doesn't it? Those two there. So just make sure that they're up on your screen. Be fantastic. Excellent. So first thing is, what we're going to do is work out what we want the bog standard text to look like. So what I recommend is just go through the normal way. So just click in here. These text boxes are linked as well, mind you. So if you just want to just draw your attention to the fact that I've got these little arrows, just where are they? Just here. You see very closely here, this arrow here shows that this text box is linked. If you want to see how the text boxes are linked, you can go through the view menu and view that as well. But time doesn't allow us to go through all of that. Please just check some other videos on linking text boxes. All right, so what we'll do is going to double click and just going to select all, because I just like to get a feeling of how the general look of this document what the document will look like. I'm not using any pictures for this as well. I'm just going to go straight into the text. So let's just use this standard paragraph here on the right hand side. So it's that paragraph one just here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. So click on this here. If you're using the new one, remember you can do this one. It doesn't matter which way you're doing that. I want some spaces after each paragraph. So this one is the space after. So this one just here. So let's just zoom in there. So you see that that's the space after. I'm just going to increase that by a couple. And that looks good. So I've just got a couple of millimeters of space after that. That's good. Now I'm armed with that. I'm going to go back to character here, and I'm going to, at the moment, this font is Minion Pro. It's not great. So I'm just going to click and type in Arial. And I've got lots of Arials on there. So I'm just going to stand like the Arial there and just press enter. That will make Arial. At the moment, it's Arial Black for some reason, but I don't want Arial Black. I'm going to highlight that and type regular. So that's Arial regular there. That's great. Another thing just to, what I like to do is just increase what's known as my leading. So just over here, if I hover over, you can see it's all leading. So at the moment you can see you've got little brackets there that shows that the leading is automatically applied. I'm just going to increase that a little bit, just increase it up to about, say, That's probably a bit too much here. 15 points should do the trick. That's good. So that's great for the time being. And so if I just zoom back, and then you can have a quick look at the page, and yeah, it's starting to come together. If I just click away, and yeah, for the time being, that's great. I don't want to waste loads of time going into lots of detail, but that's going to be a good basis for my standard text. So what I'm going to do is just highlight a bunch of text. If you want to highlight the lot, you can as well. Incidentally, to highlight everything, I'm holding down Control and A on the keyboard just to select everything if you wanted to follow along. So now I'm going to go to my paragraph style. So again, I use this button just up here, the paragraph styles button. So that's it, this one just here. Remember, if you can't see that, then you can go up to Window and then Styles. Where is it here? And paragraph styles there. All right, so let's get to my paragraph styles. And at the moment, it's just basic paragraph. I've got a little plus here that shows that there are overrides to the basic paragraph. If you don't know what overrides are, please subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing. So I'll put a style overrides video and go through that and the issues that can bring to your design life. So what I want to do is I want to create a new style. So I can click on this. Incidentally, if you hold down the Alt key while you click on this, I'm going to do that right now. If I hold down the Alt key and click on it, it automatically brings up this new paragraph style box so that you can then change the style. But if I just cancel that, if I just click on it on its own, paragraph style appears just here. If I just zoom in so you can see that one there. So I can then just think, okay, I need to change this. So I'm going to double click. Okay, and then that allows me to go and make some changes. Brilliant. So if I just, let's just zoom in again in this one here so we can just go through some of the basics here. So firstly, this is the style name. Now, at the moment, the style name is paragraph style 1. It's not great. So I'm just going to call this one standard text because it's going to be my standard text. If then I look down, I can see it's based on, well, it's not based on any paragraph style. And the next style, well, it's going to be the same style. That's great. If you just look to the left, you can see all of the different criteria you can change with a style. So if I click on basic character formats inside the paragraph style box, I can have a look and see, well, there it is. And there's my Arial, there's my regular, there's my 12 points, there's my leading. I've got that there. If I go down to and choose indents and spacing, I can see over the right, there's my space after that where I added my 2 millimeters over here. So it's remembered all of that. So it just, it's nice place to start, really. That's good. There's a little preview checkbox. If you haven't seen that there, let me just highlight that just down in the bottom left-hand corner. So you can use that just to see any changes that you make to this afterwards. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. That's good. So that's fine. You just want to make sure that the standard text is highlighted. Basically, whatever you've got highlighted here, if you click on something, see if I click on basic paragraph just up here, all the text changes. But when I click on standard text just here, so if I just was going to click on standard text with all of this selected, then see what happens. The text automatically updates. Brilliant. Okay, so let's now add some of the headings here. So if I go up to the heading here, in fact, what I'm just going to do is just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. So I'm going to start off with subheading level 2. Now, what I can do with this one is, again, this has got standard text here. So if I highlight this, and then what I'll do is I'll just change the color. I'm just going to go down to this bottom left-hand corner here is where you can go to double click on that T there to change the color. And I'm just going to change that to a lighter blue. Click on OK. That's great. And then I'm going to use my character panel. I just use this one here on the, I tell you what, just in case for you old schoolers using CS6 or whatever, I'm going to go to this character panel here and just increase that to say 14 points. So subheading level 2 is 14 points. That's great. And then subheading level 1, I tell you what we'll do is we will do this as a new style first. Okay, so I've got subheading level 2 here. If you remember, we're going to go to our paragraph styles here. You see it's got standard text with some style overrides going on there. So I want to do a new one. So I just do a new. I'm just going to double click on this new style just to the right there. Incidentally, if you're double clicking and you don't know where you're going, just right click and you can go to edit paragraph style 1 and you can change that. And so I'm going to call this one subheading level 2. That's good. You see, it's based on the style standard text. So basically, whatever happens to standard text, okay, it will also happen to subheading level 2, as long as it doesn't contradict, you know. So say, for instance, subheading level 2, I'll get that right. Over on this left-hand side, the font size is 14 points. So that will always be 14 points. I might change the font size off the standard text, but subheading level 2 will always be 14 points. And the leading at the moment is 15 because it's inheriting it from the standard level text there, basically, or standard text. Okay, that looks good so far. Click on OK. And then I can just go on from there, really. So say, for instance, I could base subheading level 2, or sorry, subheading level 1 on subheading level 2. So if I highlight subheading level 2, that's good there. I could just do that so I can apply subheading level 2. I could do that one here. But then I want a new one. Okay, if I double click to the right, and I'll just call that one subheading level 1. So you can see it's based on subheading level 2. It inherits everything from that. Interesting is this next style. In fact, I can go back and change the other one. So say, for instance, once I've done that one, it's based on this. When I press enter, generally, the next one will be a subheading level 2. So every time I press enter, once I've got subheading level 1 selected, it will automatically select subheading level 2. And if I look to the left here, I can see all of the wonderful options here. I might go back and change these afterwards, depending on how that looks. Good. Click on OK. Yeah, that's fine. I tell you what I'm just going to do with this just one more time. I'm just going to highlight this because I want to make the font a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to make that a little lighter still. That's good. Brilliant. I'm also going to change the font size as well. So if I go to my font size here, where is it? There we go. And just increase that to 16. So that's a little bit bigger still. So back in my paragraph styles here, what I can do is if I right click on this, and let me just zoom in so you can really see this. So if I right click on this, I can go down to and choose redefine style. So now that's picked up everything that I've changed here. So that's one way that you can update and change the styles as well. That's good. All right, so let me zoom back. And we're going to go under main heading here. And at the moment, we're going to inherit everything from subheading level 1. But we want to make this a little bigger here. So we're going to change this after we've created the style. So let's create the style first. So I'm just going to click on this button here, and there's paragraph style 1. Double click to the right of paragraph style level 1. I'll call this main heading. That's good. So at the moment, it's based on subheading level 1. The next style basically will be subheading level 1, which is great. So every time I type main heading, when I press enter on the keyboard, it will automatically select subheading level 1. I hope that makes sense. I'll give a demonstration a little bit afterwards there. Then, okay, so let's go to basic character formats and just work out what we want. Well, this one here, I want to have the Arial black to make that a little bolder. Now, because I've got preview checked here in the bottom left-hand corner, as you can see, if I now just move that to the side, I can see any updates. See, if I change this back to italics, you can see the italics here, or change it to italics, I can see italics, you know, or regular, if you can see it goes back to regular here. I'm going to go to black. That's great. And then this heading here, I'm just going to change it to, shall I change it to a lighter color? So I can go to character color here, and I can double click on this and I can start mucking around with the color this way. I'm just going to just change that, maybe make it more, that's it, lighter still. That looks good. I can add the color if I want to. Excuse me. That's it. So I can just choose the color. Where's my color here? There we go. Click on OK. And you can see there that that is the main heading. That's brilliant. So I've got all of my styles here. Let's just zoom in so we can see them in all of their glory. There we have standard text, sub-level, heading level 1 and 2. You've just got to be careful with this one. You see, because if you accidentally click on this, let me just zoom back so you can see. See, if I click on subheading level 1, you see it applies that style. You see, main heading is now no longer main heading. It's now subheading level 1. So if I click back on main heading, yeah, that's great. Everyone's happy. So just be careful of this one here. You should be able to click and rearrange these as well. So just it makes more sense. I put standard text at the bottom here. And if you really want to, down at the bottom of this box here, you've got a little grouping option. Oh, where is it? There we go. So what I would do is click on the top one, shift click the bottom one, and then you can do this create new style grouping. Well, it normally goes into there, but I can drag them into that style group there. There we go. So it just allows me to select them all and drag them in. And I can just rename that one you know, the normal text. There we go. That's it. Click on OK. There we go. So it's good. Alrighty then, so let's apply these to the other pages. Now there's a couple of ways of applying these which can be quite cool. If I go back to my pages here in the top, and I'm just going to double click on page 2 to 3. So what I want to do is, say I'm editing this document or I'm typing, what I can do is I can apply what they call known as quick styles. So just to give you an idea, if I click on this styles here, there's a button just on the right hand side. Oops, let me just, that's it. Oops, let's get in there. So this button just here, there we go. It says quick apply, and when I do that, the quick apply styles, and so I can type the styles in here. Let me just close that down, because when you hover over this, if you look, and you'll see Control and Enter, yeah, as a shortcut. So I can use that as a shortcut. So how would I use that? Let me just zoom back and give you an idea. So say I'm typing here and I'm on main heading. Oh, I want to quickly apply main heading. I hold down Control, I tap Enter, and the quick styles appear. They're just in the way at the moment, so I will move it down here, and I can just type in main heading, press enter, and you can see main heading is automatically applied. Yeah, I go down to the next level here, I can go Control Enter the quick styles, and I can call that subheading. There's level 1, press that, subheading level 1 is automatically applied, and I think I know you know where I'm going next. Down to subheading level 2, Control and Enter to bring up the quick styles, and I can call subheading level 2. I'm going to tap the down arrow on the keyboard just to select that, and I can select the style here. For the rest of it, I can go down and I can start just selecting however I want it to do. I'm just going to do Control, Shift, and End. That'll just bring us to the end there. That's great. And then Control Enter to bring up the quick styles. Just call it standard text, the normal text. It automatically applies that text. So this is a way that you can automatically apply text by the keyboard. Excellent way of doing that. So yeah, that's great. Let me just double click and you can see, yeah, the text is all coming together. Let me just click away and I can see it in all my glory. That's great. So as you go through, you can apply your text and change it. For instance, when a big document like that, I might just double click and just make sure I'm on this and just make sure the different styles are applied here. It's always good to get the right styles. And if I had time, I'd go through the whole document. So the beauty of styles is if you change the style, if you update the style, they'll update in the document. So just to prove this, I'm just going to click in this area over here. Yeah, so I'm going to click over here with the mouse. Okay, so if I just go and just make sure that nothing, oh, make sure I got the black arrow tool selected rather, and then click over in the scratch area. So nothing in my hands, nothing up my sleeves. So now what I can do is if I want to then say, I want to update the main heading, maybe put a line underneath it, maybe give it some gaps, a bit more of a gap between this and the subheading. So if I go back and right click on the main heading and go to edit main heading, that's good here, okay. So now I would go down to, and there's a nice option here called paragraph border, if you can see that, just the paragraph border. So if you click on paragraph border there, so I'm going to add a border, and in fact if I drag that to the left you can see the borders happening here. What I will do is I only want a border on the bottom, so let's just remove all the border. Can I zoom in so I can just show you different options here. So if I just remove all the border, just removed it, click on the chain link here just to take off the proportions or the constraints, and then I'll increase the bottom one to 1, and you can see I've got one just here, it's added there. What's the type? Oh, there's so many different types of lines, and I'm going to go for the dash line here so I can see a nice dash line. Or maybe that's not the greatest. There's one thin and thick and thin and thick. Yeah, that looks okay. I can have an offset down the bottom here, so I'm just going to take the little chain link off the offset, and on the bottom I'm just going to increase it a bit. So you can see the offset's increased a little bit here. And I suppose it would be appropriate to go back to indents and spacing and increase the indent afterwards by a couple more options. There we go. So there we go. So it's starting to come together. Maybe just back it up once. There, you can see that there. So the idea of this one is you can there go and you can change and update your styles, and it will update it automatically. In fact, if I click on OK now at the bottom, if I go back to page 1 where my styles, you can see my main heading style was automatically adapted and updated. Good. So the only other thing as well is if you're typing with a style, it's just going back to that next style option. And I think I muffed it up a little bit on subheading level 2. So if I just right click subheading level 2 and go to edit that one. So yeah, so subheading level 2. Oh no, that's fine. No, it's not. It's good. So if you look here, you can see the next text is the same style. Well, I don't want it for subheading level 2. So I'm going to go to the next style here, and I'm going to click on the drop down list, and I'm going to choose standard text. So every time I write my subheading level 2 and I press enter, it will be standard text. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to remember what you've done and how you set your styles up, so you can go back and change them anytime. That's good. So if we just go back and let's say click on OK. Let's have a quick test of this one out here. So if I go to, let's say to page 4, okay, and that's fine. And then say I wanted to add some text in here. I'll tell you what, with this one here, instead of, if I select all of the text here, okay, and then I'm just going to backspace to delete it. I'm just going to go Control plus to zoom in on that area here. Let's just Control minus to zoom back a little bit. Let's move that across a bit. So say, for instance, I'm typing in a main header. I can start off with main heading. So let's just choose that one just here. And then I'll start main, and you see it's here, heading. I press enter. Okay, you see the style is automatically selected and it's gone down to subheading level 2. So you can see that it's automatic, sorry, subheading level 1, it's automatically selected that style there. So now I can just type, so I can say subheading level 1, press enter, and you see it's automatically selected subheading level 2. So I can put level 2, I press enter, and now I'm on standard text. So now I can type, you know, whatever I want. When I press enter, the next one is still standard text because I've set the hierarchy of styles in the right order. Now, it might not look fantastic here. I'm sure your design skills are way better than mine, but hopefully that little tutorial helped you out. There's just one last thing with this. If you want to be consistent across multiple documents, you can export or you can import these styles into another document. So what do I mean by that? So if I do Control N and I'll just do a new document, let's just create that one there. So I've got a new document. Here we go. As you can see, my paragraph styles don't exist, you know, at this moment in time. So what I need to do is just save this document. So if I just go to File and I'm just going to, I'll tell you what, I'm going to save this as tutorial. Yeah, that's it. Completed. There we go. That's good. So I've saved this completed. Back to my brand new document here. So if I now go up to the top right hand corner of the paragraph styles window just here, I can go down to and I can say load paragraph styles. I can then point to my document. There's a few others I've done in the past here, but if I go to my completed one just here, here's all my styles. I don't want to bring in basic paragraph because that's the standard, but I've got the normal text. This is the style groupings that I've got here, standard, level 1, level 2, and the main heading. So that looks good here. So if I just go over and click on OK, and then I can see I've got the normal text, I can click on this and I've got my styles ready to go. So that InDesign tutorial was about get consistency. It was called Get Consistency with styles, with in particular paragraph styles. So we just had a look at that. We had a look at the paragraph styles, brought them in, showed how to update them and have a succession of styles. And we also talked about in style hierarchy and inheritance as well. Paragraph styles are just one of many other styles that are available. In fact, if I zoom back and if you went to window and styles just here and just have a quick look, you can see the various other styles. We did paragraph styles, but the next one I think we'll do just a brief one on character styles as well, but it was also object, cell, and table styles. So there's so much to get out of using styles. If you've got anything out of this, then please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up as well and click that notification so you don't miss anything. We do training courses at computertutoring.co.uk. So click on the link if you want to have a quick look at the InDesign training courses that we offer. We can come to your business. We can provide laptops so that you can just relax and enjoy the day. That's great. I think that's about it. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching.